Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you. Thank you for always coming back. Okay, so today I promise you guys that we'll be answering some of the questions that a lot of you asked. So I got questions from my DMs, from my Instagram, from my Facebook, not Facebook, the Instagram, emails, and where? And the comment section, right? And so we'll be answering some of those questions. But yes, of course, I have my husband here with me. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Wale.
What's this?
Zio. Hello guys, my name is Wale, and as you can see, it's great to be back here today.
How can they see it?
When they watch, they'll see.
How can they see that it's great to be back here? You put great to be back here in your forehead.
It's between us.
Okay guys, so all right, so I have a lot of questions that we need to go over. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Like literally, like I have like, this is 7, this is 8, this is 4. 7 plus 4,
11. Okay,
so the first question we have here is so the person was asking this question. It says, what if you, and I think it's on relationship. She said, what if you like to party some days and your boyfriend does not like it? What should you do? Like, is God-fearing to the core, but he does not like parties?
I think there are two things involved. Is it stopping you from being you? We all have our predilections. We all have things that we like to do. But the fact that we like to do them does not mean that our partner must like it the same way we do.
Yeah.
So our partner may like it for us, or participate maybe for us, which is where compromise would come in. That's why I said it's two things. So if it's not stopping you from being who you are, then I think you're safe. But if it's stopping you from being who you are, from doing things you enjoy, there's a difference between maybe you like to party a lot and you party a whole lot, and it's trying to moderate you. That's a different thing entirely. But if you're the type that maybe like your question posed,
yeah, she said
you do it once in a while. If it's not stopping you from being you, then there should not be any problem. That's what I think. However, for the sake of how do you put it? For the sake of compromise and meeting each other halfway, because there might be something he likes to do that you don't exactly like to do too, and he might want you to do it with him. Do you get? So that's where compromise comes in. So he doesn't like to party, but maybe he can attend occasionally for you once in a while too, or with you, I mean, once in a while. You may have to reach a compromise. So it all depends on some of the facts that we don't have here. Yeah. But if it's someone that, like you said, you do it occasionally, and how do you put it? You do it occasionally, and he utterly is against it. He does not want you to ever do it anymore. Then there might be a problem, because you'll be frustrated along the line. The tendency that frustration will creep in after some time is very real.
Okay. Well, I think if I'm to add to that, it's and I mean what my husband said is accurate, because the truth is that yeah, there's compromises that has to be done in marriage, in relationship, for the growth of it. However, if like you said, like it's not something you do often, or it's something you enjoy to do once in a while, I mean, it's okay for you to be able to do that. It might not get involved. Okay, if it says, okay, well, that's your thing, you go ahead and do you, right? However, you also want to think about it. Is it worth letting go of your relationship for? And you need to be sure that that is the only thing that he's against, because usually it starts from one thing, and when you give in, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and the rest of it. So I think you just need to have that conversation, right? Just have that conversation with him, that is something you enjoy doing, and you're not asking him to participate if he doesn't want to, but you would like to be able to go to parties once in a while and see. But if he puts his feet down or his foot down and says that no party in our house, no nothing, then you might want to ask yourself, is the party so that important to you? Is this something that you have to do? Is it a part of you? And then you need to make the tough choices or a tough decision or whatever it is to you. But if you think that, okay, party is something that I can forego, or something that it doesn't really mean much, you know, in the scale of things, in the scale of our relationship, or who, or the other things he has compromised for you, or whatever. You are the one that will know what you will put it, what you will weigh it with, right?
Yes.
To be able to evaluate if it's worth going ahead with or not. You wanted to say something?
No, I wasn't just comfortable with when you said check whether it's one of the things, maybe.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is normally in relationship, people will object or approve of things. Now, the fact that he objects about one thing may not be symptomatic that he will continue to object about different things.
Yeah.
We should take things as they come, like in isolation. This is what he objects, because there will be things you object about him too.
Yeah.
It might even be something subtle. It might be something small. So if he also takes it that way, then you people start counting scores.
That's why I said you also want to look at other areas. You know, first of all, look at it. Is this something that everything that I like doing, like things that give me joy, is always against it or something? I don't know. I'm just like saying, I'm not saying that you people should start keeping scores on yourself, but generally you just have to have that conversation with him. If it's that important to you, you guys should find a way to get to a middle ground, you know, get to a compromise. If not every time, maybe once a week or once a month, whatever it is for you, or for important people in your life, you understand? So just, you know, have that conversation with him. And the next question we have here is, this one is long, and most of the questions are actually long. She said, good afternoon, ma'am. Trust your day is going well. How is Uncle Wale doing? Uncle Wale, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Oh, you're hungry?
No, I'm very surprised now.
Uncle Wale?
Yeah, no.
My husband prefers being addressed as Mr. Fash. It's not, I'm the only one that calls him Wale. Anyway, he said, Ma, after you guys stop calling me Ma, I want to seek your opinion as a newlywed looking towards getting married next year by God's grace, but currently don't have any marital kitchen utensils and the rest of it. I would like to know what I should look towards acquiring. I have a teaching job where I earn 37K a month as a side business. Probably, ma'am.
And a side business.
Probably, ma'am, if you could make a video on essential bride-to-be needs to prepare towards marriage.
And then
okay, that one is maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that in another
that's not
video.
something we can answer here.
Yeah. So another question says that I have a question. How do you know you and someone are meant to be? I was trying to work on a relationship. In the beginning, everything was smooth. A good morning text was awaiting me every morning. I'm so sorry. This just gave me a lot of cliche. Is it cliche? Sorry. A lot of, things to think of. She said, a good morning text was always awaiting me every morning. Every morning that I wake up, and he tries his best to make time. He walks away from home. But after he confessed his feelings to me, he started telling me that he was busy with work. He didn't have time. One time, he didn't let me hear anything from him for 2 days. We recently broke up because I got tired of the same apologies followed by the same actions he apologized for. By the way, I am a Christian. He also is a Christian. But when I told him that I wanted to wait until marriage to have sex, he told me I won't accept it. And I shall never in caps, never accept. I am really sorry for the long message. P.S. I'm 25 and this was supposed to be my first relationship. All right, so yes, that is a question. So I think there are two questions here. The first one is the fact that at the beginning of the relationship, the guy was always calling, always texting, always there and everything. But the moment he confessed his feelings to her, it changed, to the extent that I didn't even speak to her for 2 good days, right? So and every time he comes back to apologize, she forgives him, he goes back to doing the same thing and the rest of it. What's your thoughts, babe?
I think the whole circumstances is flowing into the other. Everything, like you said, it was always sending you text messages before he told you he loved you and he was interested. And I'm sure at that point, it looks like at that point, when you acceded to his request for a relationship, you laid your cards and stated, these are my do's and don'ts. These are things I'd like to do or not involve in. And then it started pulling the disappearing act. That's why I think the two are connected. Okay. But it's just my opinion. Maybe if we have more clearer picture, I'll be able to say something different. But I'm just saying that that might be the genesis of the whole problem. Okay,
so when he was chasing her, he didn't realize that he won't be able to eat, be able to chop her But now that he realized, now he's giving excuses for everything. But then why is he coming to apologize? Because it's a different thing if that's the reason, and then he's trying to avoid her. But then he will come back and apologize and do the same thing.
I'm not surprised that, I don't know, but I'm just seeing it as a guy. And I understand that as a guy, you just keep trying to bait. He might like her, like really like her, but at the same time he's conflicted because of his own carnal desires and what do you put it, selfish and carnal desires to make sure that they get to sleep together. So I don't know, maybe he's just trying to reel her in. He can't, it's not really direct. You can't make a clear-cut summation or assumption from this set of affairs or whatever she just said now. But I don't know, maybe it's instinct. I just feel like it's related, that the problem is not isolated. It's not him pulling a disappearing out, because I was going to say that it's true that he may be busy, but people, depending on the kind of job he does anyway, people don't get to go incommunicado for 2 days.
2 days, and you're not communicating with the person you're in relationship.
You may not be able to call, but you may be able to send a text. And you may be able to call a minute and be like, how are you doing? I'm busy, I just want to check on you, bye-bye. You get? So staying off communication completely for 48 hours, and except if whatever he does, maybe he's a field officer and all those kind of things, so he goes into areas where there are no communication, access to internet and all those kind of things, or maybe no networks coverage in those, you could relate. But bearing any of that, it's symptomatic of
he's just like
him just maybe he just doesn't really care.
Okay, now that I think about it, I think I understand your part, but I think I looked at it from the point of view that I was, when I read it, I laughed because all the texting. There was a time in my relationship that I wake up in the morning, hey, there's voice note waiting for me. If there's no voice note, there is love text, long text of admiration and so many things waiting for me, okay? But as relationship progress, sometimes those things start to reduce naturally, probably because maybe you guys now know each other more. There are other important things to talk about. I don't know. I don't think it should, right? I still think that at least it will reduce, it's natural, but I still think that there should be some form of, every now and then, those things should still come up. However, I think that's the lens that I was looking at it from, that and maybe for any other person who have this situation, maybe they feel like their husband is not doing as much as he used to when he was pursuing them and stuff. It is normal that these things are going to go down, maybe because now you people see more of each other often, you get to talk more face to face. There's no need to call as often as it used to be. Like now we are married, like there's no point calling or texting as if we don't use to text and call as much as we used to then, especially because we're doing long distance and the rest of it. So as relationship progress, some of this communication and stuff, not communication in terms of communicating, but all the lovey-dovey text in the morning and stuff, usually they usually die down. They usually they usually have a slow death. So you have to be more deliberate about it after you have caught what you're looking for. So I guess that was my own approach, or the way I saw it initially. However, based on what my husband also said, it could also be, but for a guy to go for 2 days without communicating with you, like that's like, I don't know, like he has to have a really, really good, solid explanation. Maybe his phone was stolen, he was kidnapped. It has to be a very strong reason for him to go incommunicado for 2 days without, any form of communication whatsoever. So yeah, I think I get my husband's point that maybe, when he was pursuing you, he had no idea that, you were a virgin, or you were not willing to, allow him to chop small.
Your values.
Exactly. So after meeting you and he feels like, okay, this guy is not going to give me what I want, and now he's trying to withdraw. So my advice with you is that, confront him, right? Ask him, this is what I've been seeing. Is this the reason why you've been acting like this? Let me know what is happening so that I can move on. Okay, but if you feel like you've got to that place where you are fed up and he's not changing, he keeps doing the same thing over and over again, I want to assume that you are 25 years old. This is not the time to be joking around with any guy that is not serious. You've already seen signs that this guy is not being serious with me, and it wants you to compromise on a value, on something you hold that precious please, I beg you, just let him go, okay? Good riddance to bad rubbish. God will bring you your own man, okay? A man that wants you to compromise on something that you hold that valuable to you, I mean, I don't know. I mean, men will naturally want to, you know, shoot their shots to be able to make sure that, you know, they enter there and stuff. But if you told him that, hey, he won't come and tell you that never, Koleshele. I don't know, babe, maybe I'm wrong. But they would still try stylishly, maybe lure you, maybe start to, you know. But most men will not come to say, no, enough you work. But anyway, that's my own thoughts, right? Maybe based on my own experiences, you understand?
There's different kind of men.
Yeah.
Some people
they'll be direct, right?
Yeah, some people are always, I mean, they are very direct. I mean, I knew then when we were in school, when if a girl is gonna visit a guy, I know friends or whatever that will be plain. Why are you you want to come and visit me? That's fine. This is going to happen. If it's not going to happen, please don't come. There's no two things about it. I mean, there are people that way, so it all depends on him. But I'm just confused because you said he's a Christian and all that.
It's not all Christian that believes in virginity. There are Christians that believe that you have to even get pregnant before you get married.
Okay.
Yeah, there are Christians that believe that.
At the risk of questioning their faith or the level of their faith, but
what would be your advice for her?
I think I'm going to go with what you said. Have a real talk. Don't be, how do you put it? Don't attack. Just, if it's possible. I mean, I know this is something that you feel somehow about, and so there's tendency to become emotional when you're presenting your case. And trust me, most guys are, when you present emotion as a lady, most guys go logic, and so you start looking foolish because you'll be stressing yourself and it will just be using logic to defeat you. So I'd advise that in this one, if you really want to get what you need to get out of the conversation, be as much as possible, be objective, keep your emotions in check, and present the matter in a very, you know, direct without being accusatory. And, you know, from whatever he's saying, his body language, and be very, you know,
attentive to his non-verbal.
Yes, be attentive, really attentive. And if it's even a conversation that is holding on phone, I'll suggest that let it be a video call. So be attentive to those non-verbal gestures and demeanor. It will tell you a lot about what you mean to him and all that. And from that, you'd be able to forget whatever time and affection you've invested, because that may make it difficult for you to make a calculated judgment, an objective decision. So do that, have a talk with him. That will let you know for real whether you should keep on open, or, you know, maybe it may turn a new leaf, or all those kind of things.
I see. Okay, yeah, I totally accept. Have the conversation and know where the relationship is going, okay? But please, if you're a lady here, any man is telling you that if he does not have sex with you, he cannot marry you, let him go. Because the truth is that if we end up having the sex with you and still not marry you, okay? Don't start to compromise the things that you hold valuable, you know, things that you believe, especially anything regarding your faith and the rest of it. Don't compromise it for anybody, okay? A man that does not see your faith or does not believe in what you believe in, the two of you are going to have issues in your marriage, okay? So don't do anything that you regret. What if you give him your body?
Marriage is even for the relationship.
What if you give him your body and he still ends up not marrying you? Then you live your life in regrets. Please don't do that. Don't ever compromise your standard for anybody, okay? All right, so the next question that we have here is says, please, I wish to ask you this, Vicky. Hope you will analyze it in your next video. Is there a limit to doing the do? As in, are there things married couples should not do when it comes to having sex that may be regarded as sin even when they are married, e.g. giving your hubby head? Is it sinful? Please expatiate on this and tell us other stuff that are equally sinful. Thanks, and I'll be waiting. So basically she's asking if when you and your husband are doing the do, are there any limits? Are there anything that should not be done, especially as Christians, when it comes to sexual relationship with your husband or your wife? And she specifically asked about, you know, oral So yeah, what do you think, babe?
I'm going to borrow from your quotes,
Yeah.
the keeping the married bed undefiled thing. It has two interpretations. However, most times we get to focus on one aspect of the interpretation or the meaning. We tend to focus on not cheating, not having extramarital stuff, that's where emphasis comes. But the other part, oftentimes, that is ignored is that anything that both parties will do or can do to, one, give each other pleasure, minister to each other, communicate affection, communicate intimacy, without the risk of, one, hurting each other physically or emotionally, or causing pain, or a health hazard to the partner, it's fine. So if you can sieve it through that prism, if you can check it along that line, that does it hurt my partner emotionally or physically? Does it affect my partner's health? Because let's be realistic, they are what you would consider normal relations between a man and a woman, that because of the peculiarity of your partner's health would be dangerous. So in that wise, would you compel your partner to continue or insist that your partner has to do that, knowing that they have a particular or a sensitive health condition that will make that be a problem for them? So it's the same way in any of these things. So you want to do any of those, you're fine with it, or your partner is fine with it, as long as both of you can come to that agreement, see it through that prism, that nothing is exactly sinful if a third party is not involved. If you're not causing pain or harm to your partner's health, emotions, or physical body, and you're comfortable with it. The truth of the matter is, many of the things you will do, you will grow into it. So there might be things you have reservation for or against at the beginning, but as the time goes on, you'd be more relaxed, maybe because you're still very self-conscious and all that. So it's a progressive thing. But the whole aim, or what I'm just trying to say, is that nothing is a sin outside of the influence or introduction of a third party or harmful practices to your health, to your emotions, or to your body.
Even to your beliefs.
Or to your belief system. So bearing any of those things, everything is fine. So because we make it look like it's a biological function. We have to be realistic. It's for procreation and for pleasure. The same way a lot of our body parts are for dual purpose. You use the same mouth to eat, you use it to speak, you use it to make sound. So
use it to kiss.
So so a lot of organs are for many purposes. And one does not necessarily become sinful because we can say that the mouth is basically for eating and talking. But when you use it to sing, it's a different thing. Or you make it, do you get what I'm trying to say? So there are some other functions that you can use a body part for, and it is fine as long as your partner is okay with it and all that. Just don't start to become too holier than thou, or start to see everything through the prism of sin, because that's one of the things that I believe the enemy is using to attack Christian marriages, because there's a lot of repression, there's a lot of denial of the partners and whatever. So I mean, in one of the series, I can't remember if it was in the series or one of the classes that my wife held, I mentioned something that satisfying your partner sexually is a way to, one, preserve you and prevent your partner from being prone to attack of temptation and all that. So it's a job. It's a full-time job. You need to satisfy yourself and satisfy your partner, so that you don't make them whatever. So it's a process. You may have reservations about it for other reasons, but if we know those particular reservations, maybe it will be easy for us to say, you know, be more direct in addressing your particular reservation for maybe oral sex or whatever that you're talking about. But we can, from what you just said generally, we can just answer it generally this way.
Yeah, I think I'll just add that everything my husband has said, as long as it doesn't make your partner feel less than they are, it does not demean them, it does not make them feel I don't know, they are not uncomfortable with it. Okay, I think, you know, everything is permissible in your marriage bed. The scripture I was referring to is marriage is honorable and the bed is undefiled. That is, whatever you do in your marriage bed, it is honorable according to God. Okay, as long as you're not bringing a third party, and third party is not just a third person. Okay, it can be anything that does not involve what God has given to you and given to your partner. Okay, you know, bringing it to your, I'm not talking about, of course, the clothes you wear, other things that, you know, of course,
in fact,
but I'm saying that, you know, maybe introducing things like pornography, introducing things like, you know, just you just know anything that makes that act, you know, it perverses that act, you run away from it. But when it comes to something that pleasures you, that pleasures your husband, and I mean, if you were in the class that we held, like, you will understand a lot of things, especially when it comes to the female body, you know. And I think I've explained this more in my videos, that, you know, most female are not made to, you know, to enjoy just penetrative, you know, doing the do, right? You know, some other things has to be involved in it, and that's the way we have been created. So you and your husband will be able to you know, go through all those when you get to that aspect. But yeah, what I'm just trying to say is that as long as you're okay with it, we are both honoring God. It does not make me feel less than I am, you know, and it's between the two of us, then I believe that, you know, you guys are good.
Okay.
Is there something you wanted to add?
No, I think you were digressing when you started to talk about the design of the female body, because
I wasn't going to talk much about that. Just
the question was not about the female body, it was about reservation and the sin.
And like my husband said, and I like what you said, babe, that, you know, don't always look at everything through the lens of sin. Okay, look at your husband's pleasure, look at your pleasure, and then look at, you know, what honors God, what honors the two of you, and the rest of it. Don't be too, you know. In
fact, there's a Bible verse that came to my mind now. It says, delight yourself in the wife of thy youth.
Let her breast satisfy you always. Is in your Bible. Which
is very curious, because you would have thought that the breast is just for feeding
baby, feeding children.
But even in the Bible, something was referred to letting it satisfy. So just imagine.
So all the special part God has given to you, you'll be amazed. Some people, you think it's only that part that is the sexual part that God put in your body. You don't even know. Trust me, you don't even know. So people, they get more stimulated in their leg than they do in that place. So you just have to discover yourself. Okay, so the next question here says, I hope, how many minutes is this video? Can you check?
That's 31.
31 minutes.
31, 54, 55,
hey, God.
56.
All right, I think, guys, let's end this one here. Let's continue in another video.
Okay.
All right, guys, so because of how lengthy this video is, we are going to end this here, and then we are going to continue in another video. Okay, all right, so come back so that we'll continue to answer your questions. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, all right, so someone in the last video that we ended abruptly, someone came to correct us that we should not end videos abruptly. So thank you guys very much for joining us. Please make sure you subscribe, you leave a comment, you like this video, let us know what you think about the questions that we have answered so far, and please make sure you come back as we continue to answer the remaining of your question. Okay, all right, until we meet again, my name is the Victoria Ayodele Fashion. This is my husband
Wale.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay, and this is my husband Wale, and we'll see you guys in another video. Bye.